All right, hello again, everybody. Welcome back to this episode of Semi Pro. I am Dalton Barrett. Joining me today is Josh Clements, Daniel Savage, Ewan, whatever his last name is. Today we're going to be watching a Scooby-Doo knockoff, like asylum type movie called Saturday Morning Mysteries on this episode of Semi Pro. All right, Saturday Morning Mystery is, Josh, you're going to be the one who's going to give us the most information about this, I believe, but you're muted.
Saturday Morning Massacre.
It might also be Saturday Morning Massacre. Josh, let me unmute you. Explain this movie. Like, explain the synchronicities.
It's been a minute since I've seen it, and yeah, you're both correct. It is Saturday Morning Massacre here, and Saturday Morning Mysteries in the US. And then something I can't read in Russian.
Right.
From what I remember, it was like, imagine an SNL skit about Scooby-Doo done as a horror movie, and expand that to an hour and a half, but about half the budget.
Half the budget of one SNL skit?
Yeah. Yeah, half the budget of an SNL skit. Not even the full episode, just the
that's
skit.
promising.
Cool.
Like I say, I can't remember much because my main memory of this is when me and my friend would do like horror nights, just try and find horror movies that were free that we could watch. Right, and this was one of them.
Because it's on Tubi. This episode brought to you by Tubi.
This episode was made possible by Tubi.
Yeah.
Not sponsored, but it was made possible.
Correct.
They don't want us. They don't want to talk to us. They keep rejecting my emails. But
yeah, they blocked me on every major social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Vero,
the
everything.
Super Bowl, they blocked me. I was the only person who didn't get the Tubi Super Bowl ad.
They blocked me on Yahoo questions.
Yeah.
But no, it's a movie that I don't think any of us will enjoy.
I think I'll enjoy parts of it.
The two main things I remember about it, because it's kind of messed in a haze of horror movies. One, it was quite cheap, and two, I think we would have been about 13, 14 when we watched it, and at the time we found it funny, but 13, 14-year-old me is a very different
it's one of those
creature to who I... Yeah, it's one of those. It's the kind of movie that you watch when you're 13 and 14, you go, oh, this is the best movie ever made, and then you watch it again like 3 years later, and you start questioning every single life choice you've ever made.
That's right, Josh. It's only been 3 years.
I've barely aged since I was 13, 14. Mentally, that's true.
It's been almost 10 years since you watched this movie, Josh.
10 years. Yeah.
Don't remind him.
Yeah, you don't need to hurt me like that.
How old would I have been when you watched this movie, Josh?
You weren't born yet.
No, you would be like
you would have been like 7,
maybe 8. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 7, 8. I can't remember if it's correct, but I think one of the jokes I remember was.
Well, don't spoil it.
Trust me.
We can talk about it later. Come on.
This laugh riot, it's not gonna. This won't ruin the last sphere. It was a joke about them not being good at mystery solving, so they went bankrupt.
Oh.
That might be a plot point. I genuinely can't remember. I have no clue how it ends. That much.
This movie could be very good. You're just choosing to remember it as poor.
It's very possible.
I
think this would be the best.
Much like a personal
me on
trauma,
that.
I have blocked out most of the movie.
My prediction is over the course of this entire movie, I'm going to be constantly reminding you guys that we could have been watching the Superdog meet Scooby-Doo.
I'm also going to be taking that route.
Because that's what I wanted to watch.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you guys an ultimatum right now. We will give this movie 15 minutes. And if in 15 minutes we decide...
We've dedicated.
No, that's fair.
I don't want to commit. If Josh said that this movie's going to be bad...
Don't. The reason that I don't want to watch this movie, but the reason I'm willing to enjoy this movie is because this whole podcast was your idea, And I know how much you don't want to watch this and how much you would rather watch Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2. And
That's
so,
true.
In the effort of spiting you for the years of misery that you've given me, I maintain that we watch this movie no matter what, just because I hate you.
Oh, wow. I
Let's.
don't know
All
what
right.
walked
Well,
into
you
the
guys
other
can
time.
all vote no in 15 minutes. When I bring up the vote again, you guys can all just say no. But if it's bad enough to sway your guys' opinions, I think that would also be fun and interesting. So we're gonna vote in 15 minutes after the first
I do
15 minutes of
remember
this
the movie
movie.
being bad.
After the
I
first
do
15
remember
minutes of
the
this
movie
movie,
being
we will hold a vote to see if we're gonna continue to watch Saturday Morning Mystery or if we're gonna
we'll
swap.
continue watching it for another hour and hopefully just an hour.
Hopefully just an hour. I don't know how long this movie is, but I'm hoping it's short.
I can't remember, but 13, 14-year-old me remembers thinking it was short. So that kind of gives me hope.
A lot of these
'Cause I
cheaper
feel like-
movies are because they don't have the
Yeah, I
budget
was
to
gonna
keep
say,
going
you don't-
beyond.
You don't make a movie like this. You don't make a movie like this and then try and make it full length. You get it to like 90 minutes and you're you're done there.
All right, so we're gonna pause this really quickly, and then when we return, we will have watched Saturday Morning Mystery. All right, and we are back. We just finished Saturday Morning Mystery. I just want to scream.
That was.
This is what I want to do.
I just want to yell at the top of my lungs.
I want to
and
do
be like,
anything
I hated this.
But
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. At the
Here
15-minute
we
point, we
are.
did have a little pause and reconvene, but Dalton was outweighed by 3 votes as to continue watching the movie.
Yeah.
I hope you're happy.
Oh,
I really
I'm
do.
Yeah, I am.
Are you?
Well, I'm not happy.
I mean, I
never am.
not-
But
I'm not happy, but
Yeah.
But are you happy at this decision?
yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Joshua, this was
absolutely.
your fault, all of it.
oh yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
True.
To be fair, I will say it was partly my idea to watch this, sort of.
I
Wait,
I mean,
Hang
it was your idea.
Wait.
I
Not
made
even
it- I
partly.
mainly
You
voted.
selected this movie.
I did. I found this movie, but I also found another alternative that would be better.
Yes, however,
instead of-
I merely selected
Yeah, but that
it
was
as a way to keep to your original idea.
Yeah, correct.
Which I said an unreleased movie fits the theme.
It doesn't.
That's how I
doesn't-
feel.
It doesn't fit the theme.
Also, normally the knockoff whatever that we watch is not this bad.
This was
What do you
quite
mean
bad.
normally? We've done this one other time.
Yeah, exactly, and it wasn't this bad.
Yeah, well, buckle
not
up
wrong.
because this is your
Yeah.
life for the next like 50 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I like
movie was
the idea
awful.
of doing this. This particular knockoff though was
It was
just
worse than the usual knockoff because it wasn't a knockoff. It was like
It was a
trying to be a
knockoff. It was a knockoff. It was It was trying to be a parody of Scooby Doo, but it was also a knockoff of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
right. Yeah. I
And
just
it
want to
sucked.
say,
Yeah, it was terrible.
okay.
It was a terrible. It did a terrible job at both of
It
those
was a terrible
things.
job
At both
being a Scooby-Doo
Scooby-Doo parody
movie.
and a Texas Chainsaw
And it-
Massacre
yeah,
ripoff.
it-
It
Okay,
sucked.
gentlemen, before we get on our, high
We may be
horses
men,
and
but we're
start-
not gentle.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Aggressive men, if I may.
Better, yeah.
Before we
Go
get
ahead.
on our high horses and start, dissing the movie, how about a few things we liked about it?
I didn't like a
that
single
it
thing.
ended.
Yes.
I loved when it ended. I hated that it didn't end 20 minutes before it did.
I liked the
I hated
fact
that it didn't
wasn't
end
2 hours
20
long.
minutes in.
No, come on. Hamlet was good.
Hamlet
Was
sucked.
not good. Hamlet
He
sucked.
didn't know what he was
He
doing.
was
half the
terrible.
movie.
My dog is a better actor than Hamlet.
Oh well, come
Sorry.
on.
Look,
mate.
watch.
Cool.
If you're watching on YouTube, Huey, give me a hug. Come here. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. Come here. Come here. Give me a hug.
Yeah,
That
he
is-
is,
that
he
is-
is a
that is
professional.
more
He would have
training.
been better in that movie. Plus,
That is more training
Huey,
than Hamlet has.
Huey sounds closer to Scooby than Hamlet.
Exactly.
And the
Yeah.
dog
Huey
couldn't
do.
respond to anything else.
So
Huey
for what it's
Lewis
worth,
is
for
literally.
what it's worth, just for its worth.
That's what I'm saying. My dog is a better actor than Hamlet the dog. No, you're not.
Hamlet was
discussion.
Hamlet was the Scooby of the movie, by which I mean he was the dog. He didn't. He wasn't animated. He didn't talk, and
he was just a dog. Yeah,
he was a dog.
He was a dog in the movie for the sake that they needed a dog to be Scooby Doo.
And I mean, spoilers for the movie. He did get eaten quite promptly.
It was.
I mean, it was at the end of the movie.
It was the climax.
Time in this movie didn't make any sense.
Well, speaking.
What do you mean? It popped up on the screen one time.
Twice. Admittedly, it was what year it was, and then also the time once.
It popped up with the year and then the day for every time. Like it said Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Like that.
The movie
that was consistent.
The movie begins and it says 1994. Why does it take place?
This is a Texas Chainsaw ripoff.
I just want to pose a question.
Ripoff.
I want to pose a question to the group. Why did it take place in 1994?
Because it's a Texas Chainsaw ripoff, and Texas Chainsaw, the movie, all the Texas Chainsaw movies have been like flashbacks, right? Like they
all start off with a voiceover that goes, in 1973, a group of people were Texas Chainsaw massacred. The end.
Infamous.
Correct.
Right. But this movie doesn't.
It doesn't
need to take place. I mean, I get it for like whatever, but it could be in 2012.
The cop has a car phone, so that was the 90s.
That's pretty big.
My theory is, and this theory is out of left field. I think this script was written in 1994, at least an early version of the script, and they kept it.
Maybe, but I don't know.
I think we should reach out to some of the writers of this and try.
I don't want to talk to any of the writers.
I don't ever want to speak to anyone involved in this movie ever.
They probably would respond because I don't think they're getting much work nowadays.
Yeah. Hey Dalton, I think your dog wants to leave the room.
Yeah, he does, but I'm not letting him out. The door's open. All he's got to do is nudge it with his nose.
Yeah, but he don't know that.
The movie opens with our mission.
Look at his tail wagging. He's just wagging his tail like, I'm gonna get out soon. You're not. Huey Lewis, you're not getting out anytime soon.
Mission Incorporated are investigating a dark hallway, and they see
or whatever the corporation is. It's like Orness or something.
Do they actually?
They say it.
I don't remember them ever saying anything like that. But
they say it. It starts with an O. That's all I know.
But
Orville.
Aurora Borealis.
Norville.
That starts with an A.
But they're investigating a creepy hallway, and there's a creepy ghost on the ceiling that they get spooked by before Velma. The Velma character goes. It's a reflection.
We will be referring to them as their Scooby-Doo names.
We will be. I do
Correct.
have their names, but I don't agree with them.
Nancy Drew is the Velma one.
Nancy Drew
because this is also a Nancy Drew ripoff.
And
her name's Velma. It doesn't matter. Her name is Velma.
It is because
Huey.
there's one line reference of Nancy trying to get her private investigator license.
I didn't even catch that.
I didn't either.
It was in the opening when they ripped off Reanimator.
We skipped over that. The opening credits are direct.
We haven't skipped over that yet because that happens.
No one cares or knows what Reanimator is. No one knows what Reanimator is.
I do, and that's what matters. I know it. I think Coolsville sucks.
It's just standard like Scooby-Doo thing. They go to find a ghost, they prove it's fake, and then they bust in on what the actual
the standard Scooby-Doo thing, busting a child pornography ring.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the twist. The twist is it's not some guy trying to drill for oil or somebody with some money or whatever. It's a pedophile porn ring.
This is when we get a cameo from the director of the movie as the child pornographer. And
no, he didn't write. He just directed.
I'm so sorry. I would like to apologize.
Was he not one of the 5 writers who worked on this?
He was not one of the 5 writers. This movie had 5 writers.
I personally apologize to the child pornographer.
This movie had 5 writers, and one of them... I won't
dignify him with an apology.
One of the writers apparently went on to do a load of, like, award-winning dramas and stuff, which still mind boggles the brain that this fucking film.
Although, to be fair, your mind is not an easy one to boggle, or not a hard one.
Right, I was about to say, because of the sentence you just said, I think it proves that your mind is pretty easy to boggle.
Yeah.
Which minds the boggle of the brain.
I was trying to say mind-boggling, but the sheer thought of this movie has melted my brain. And
I will say, that's true. This movie does melt the brain.
Made me significantly stupider, for sure.
Dan, you know you're the only one without blue lights on?
No, I got blue lights. It's just much
It's
more
got,
subtle.
it's got
No,
blue.
there's some blue lights out there.
Yeah,
you can
we're
see
all
it,
we're
'cause I
more
have-
blued.
But yeah, so
we're
they,
blued.
Yeah,
you
well,
don't
that's
have
because I
blue
have
lights on.
actual
They-
lights on in my room, unlike you cretins.
They unintentionally bust a kiddie diddling ring and then get chastised by police for that. And so they,
Oh, we're only at this part.
yeah, no, I can speed run this movie real quick.
Please
Uh,
do. I
Let's
wish
get
you
through this
said
episode
that
as quickly
earlier.
as possible. So yeah, keep
Yeah,
going.
please.
Are we
They
at
go to-
Reanimator yet?
They go, yeah. Then the reanimator.
No one cares about Reanimator.
Oh, we're the only people
I
who
do.
see
I
it.
care.
Then there's the logos and the Nancy, the Velma character goes like, "I'm trying to get my private investigator license. Here's who we all are. This is Shaggy. His name's Floyd. This is Fred. Blah blah blah.
This guy smokes weed. This guy is the leader and has
This
something
guy's a
to do.
womanizer.
This lady is a lady. This lady is a lady smart.
and that's Hamlet.
And
our
that's a
dog.
dog.
Yeah.
Um,
And then there's this guy put a bunch of acid in the thermos.
and so
Right,
Not
yeah,
yet. We're
well,
not there
well,
yet.
and so
Well, no, but he
so
did it earlier on in the film.
no.
We haven't
No,
gotten
no, no.
there. Come on.
No. We
sorry.
haven't gotten to.
We're in
We
the
haven't even
diner.
gotten
We're
to
in
the part where he puts the acid in the thermos.
Right.
We're that
Yeah,
far
I think
behind.
we're at the part where he's buying the acid at the truck stop
Oh,
diner.
I'm so,
Yes,
I'm
they're
so
at a
sorry.
diner. He buys some acid in the
The truck
background,
stop
and
diner.
Velma gets a call, and it's a guy saying, "Hey, I know you guys bust mysteries. My house needs a mystery you're busting.
Mhm.
He
Help
says
me."
those exact words, actually, believe it or
Yeah,
he
he
not.
does.
does word for word.
He does. He says, "I need you guys to fix my ghost problem," and they go, "Yes, sir, we've got it." And then
Well, and
The
there's
entire
a,
time
I'll-
there's-
You do
the,
not
the
have it.
entire time there's weird like supernatural things. Like
that's what I was gonna say.
The people
There's
they
weird
bust
stuff
earlier in the
happening.
movie, when they're in the police car, they just like they start smashing their heads against the window, and there's blood all over their hands as they like claw at it.
Yeah,
And,
there was a weird thing in the diner where the old guy was like, "Help me."
Yeah, there's
Like,
an old
he was
guy
saying,
who says,
"Help me." He
as
was
someone,
eating
like,
a bowl of
force-feeds him
blood.
Yeah,
And there was real blood. It was implied there was real blood at the first house that they bust. None of this ever pays off.
pig blood.
No.
That's what it was.
Well, they say that it's pig blood, but they're not sure if it's pig blood or real blood.
Right.
And so, but none of this ever pays off. There's little like
Yeah, there's
creatures
nothing, like,
moving in the background. There's all
Yeah.
this kind of stuff at the beginning, none of which is important to the plot of the movie, which makes it confusing.
Yeah, none of it ends up being like, oh, ghosts are real, and they've just been ignoring all the supernatural stuff. It's just like it adds nothing. And after this, I don't even think it's mentioned again.
It's not.
It's not even mentioned then. It's kind
It's
of.
not- yeah,
shown
It's
don't
just
in the
even-
well,
background.
they don't
don't
even
even
notice
notice
it. It's happening in the background.
Yeah.
So they make the drive to this haunted location, which references Texas Chainsaw Massacre by looking like it's from 1970.
It looks like a porn parody of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mixed
so
with Scooby Doo.
They're there in their
Correct.
their minivan, their mystery machine, and it ends up breaking down.
It's not a minivan. It's a full size van.
Yeah, it's a normal.
It's a proper
van.
van, my bad.
Can I
But
just mention that it looks like you've given Huey Lewis depression?
Well, he just went to
Just
sleep.
Finally pouring at the door.
Yeah, now he's licking the door. What is bro doing?
Bro is hungry. The van breaks down, and the worst police officer in the world arrives to,
well, he
to
may
help
be
him
a fine.
out.
He may be a
he's-
fine
he's
police
very
officer.
good,
This
I must
man, this man who is clearly a real cop.
As Dalton would like to say,
He's not
it
an
was very
actor.
clearly a real cop.
He may be a good police officer. I can't comment on that, but he is a terrible actor.
Right.
So he pulls up. He's in the most monotone voice possible. Just goes like, "What's your problem? How can I help?" "Oh,
Yeah,
I've
and
got
then
a
for some
blood
reason he
carburetor."
starts sitting in the van with them.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then flirting
and
with
Shaggy.
the...
This is
yeah.
when Shaggy gets worried about all of his drugs and weed.
Right,
So he starts
yeah.
hiding it in the van, and
right,
this is a very important point. He hides his acid and LSD in a like.
Those are the same thing.
So-
Lysergic acid diethylamide.
Okay. Okay, Shaggy.
It's from a Kid Cudi song. I don't do drugs.
he hides it in like a thermo. What's it called? Thermometer? Thermostat, something like that.
Thermos?
Thermos, that's the one. He hides
A
all of his LSD in
thermometer.
a thermos. And the police officer offers to ride with them to this location because he's a local and he knows a little bit about it. So they get to this mansion, they pull up, there's no cars anywhere.
No. He may say he knows a little bit about it.
He knows
Bro knows everything.
Yeah.
Not just everything about the location. He knows everything about everything. He takes them back to the very beginning of time and space to tell them the story of what happens in this mansion.
They get to this mansion, they say that there's no cars here, and they start walking around, and the cop just talks for like 20 minutes straight.
There's no breaks.
And there's literally, I got up.
Anything.
I got up to make food while we were watching this movie for like 20 minutes, fully expected to come back like 3 scenes later, and the cop is still talking when I get back.
And they
whatever you're thinking, triple.
The entire time there's no emotion to his voice ever. He's like, yeah, 4 people got murdered here. The parents were saying this, and they diddled their kids, and then they murdered them all, and they all sat in a pentagram and killed each other.
Yeah.
But it's a nice location.
And it sounds like that.
Right.
It does sound, yeah.
Eventually, though, the cop leaves. He gives Velma his phone number. They have like a little back and forth sort of flirty thing.
Never pays off either.
No, never pays. Well, technically, they end up together.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah.
Technically, at this point, Shaggy starts smoking what we thought was a metal cigarette.
Yeah, we thought it was just a really bad cigarette prop because it's like it was.
It
looks like the
fake.
cigarette prop from AM radio.
Right,
right. Yes.
It looks fake. We were like, oh man, this is so awful. But it turns out that's an actual thing.
That's a real weed thing, which is fine.
Like a weed pen.
Yeah, because he's the stoner character. He smokes.
Right.
Do they put them in that so that when you're smoking weed in public, it doesn't look like you're smoking a cigarette?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. But
all right,
so the next
they could have been more. They could have just given him a joint.
Yeah, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
You know, let's just be real.
Like, just
a dap
bong.
pen.
Like a bong is like the classic you think of when smoking weed. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
he could have had like a soda can pipe. Like it could have been any number of things
they
other
could have had
than
to make
this.
a Jeep set, you know, could have been way ahead of the time. But no.
Like I want to say maybe 20.
He could have had a D8 pin. Like I don't.
The next like 20 to 30 minutes, I want to say, is just weird.
Him watching security camera.
It's quick shots of them just walking around the house in their security camera, like the worst episode of Ghost Adventures you've ever seen.
It's the worst episode of Scooby-Doo stretched out to an hour.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, there would just be like random kind of spooky thing. Like there was something.
Fred
shadows,
like saw a figure in the background or something, and he goes, "Oh, I want to leave," and he keeps saying that bad things are going to happen here.
At first, there was the part that Dalton missed, where Shaggy starts talking like he's Scooby. He does the Scooby. It says
so. Fred is with Hamlet. And then you see Shaggy walking up, even though it just cut to him and he was in the van watching security cams. And he walks up, and the subtitles say "laughs like Scooby,"
but it's like a goofy laugh. But
he goes like, and he keeps saying, "I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. Scratch me behind my ear. I'm a good boy."
Yeah.
And I guess it's meant to be creepy, but then nothing pays off out of it. It just cuts to
they say like, oh, he's possessed. We got to get out of here. And then maybe this is when they reveal that it was just acid, or maybe that was a little later.
No, that's later because Fred and Daphne start having sex as soon as the lights go out.
Yes. The lights cut out. So naturally, they're like, all right, let's bone.
Let's bang.
Which, like, dude. Chill out, bro. There will be other times to sleep with this woman who very clearly wants to sleep with you. You don't have to do it in the haunted house that you're the only one who's scared of.
It's also like literally 5 seconds after the lights go out. They shut off and then they immediately start making out.
Which, okay, after the reveal that's going to happen here in just a second, I can kind of understand it in context of that.
Yeah.
You're not rewatching this movie to understand the minutia.
No. Well, what I more mean is
it gets a lot better.
What happens after they have sex is the mystery machine catches on fire and Shaggy reveals to the rest of the gang that he accidentally
This is the first time we see
the
I
boy.
guess the slashers of this slasher.
The feral family.
Right, the little
the Leatherface family. What are they called? The Dayton family? No.
It starts with an A.
No, they're called Dalton. They're called they have like 16 different names.
Right.
No,
The
the family starts with an A. It's like the abstinence family or something.
Absinthe, like the green alcohol.
Right, but it's not that. It starts with an A though. But
ABBA, like who Ewan's going to see with very soon.
Right.
Yeah.
So the mystery machine catches on fire. Shaggy comes inside and he reveals to the gang that he accidentally spiked them all with acid and they're all tripping.
Oh.
With that in mind,
Ewan predicted that.
Ewan did predict that.
Yeah.
And Daniel had an idea for a screenplay that involved that.
Yeah,
I will say,
like,
with that in mind,
that's an alright like twist that you could have done on the genre. Like,
but they didn't do it as a twist. They just did it as a joke.
And in fact, doesn't matter at all.
Yeah,
I think they did it as like a fake out.
I will say, with that, I will forgive the whole.
Like having the
they were horny.
That was before he put the acid in when the cops stopped them, which was way after any of the weird spooky stuff was happening in the background.
No. He's saying for like the weird actions of the characters once they get into the house.
Ah, okay.
Right. I will say them doing it with as soon as the lights cut off because that makes sense.
Sure,
I guess in context.
I mean, first time around, whoa, it takes you back. But then sort of second and third.
The problem is they could do a lot with that, but they don't.
Yeah.
They don't do any of it.
Pull it up again. We need to rewatch it.
I will never in my life watch this movie again.
At this point,
absolutely not.
At this point, after a feeling that he spiked everyone with acid, there's a big argument in the group. Velma storms off.
Fred calls Daphne a whore multiple times.
Fred calls,
so many times.
Fred calls Daphne a whore, and she goes, "What did you call me?" And then he goes, "I called you a whore because you are one," which is really weird because he was having sex with her like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, in theory, that is what you do with.
Well, technically, but Shaggy storms off, and Velma follows to go talk to him and calm him down because Fred had to go at him as well when he found out that he'd been spiked. Daphne walks off to get changed and is like, "I expect an apology." And Fred lays down with Hamlet. And he goes, "He's the only one who really loves me." And then he sees that Hamlet's eating a dismembered hand.
He's chewing on a rubber spirit Halloween prop hand.
Yeah. Hamlet is gnawing on human flesh.
Yeah, and he's got a taste for human blood.
So they run outside.
Which also, the acid thing,
would have been a
great plot for a movie. Hamlet gets a taste for human blood, or Scooby-Doo gets a taste for human blood. Great plot for a movie. What they go with,
like
much less.
A fun little twist on the Scooby-Doo slasher thing. It's great.
Yeah, but they run out. No, God no.
Now the dog.
That
would have been
I don't remember.
No.
They run out to try and escape from the house. And
I want to pause for a second to remind you that this episode is brought to you by Tubi.
Yeah,
of course.
It's made possible.
Made possible by, not sponsored by,
not
made
sponsored
possible
by,
by
not
Tubi.
possible.
Given that this movie is streaming on Tubi and you can go watch it right now, but you can.
Go watch something else on Tubi. There's a lot of other.
There's a lot of great stuff. Hey, the first two James Gunn Scooby-Doo movies are on Tubi. Go watch those. Don't watch this.
Yeah.
But they run out to try and escape from the house, and they come across Velma and Shaggy, who have found a car that they're trying to break into, and they successfully.
Where'd the car come from?
It was hidden under like leaves and stuff. They didn't see it when they first got in. That was like.
I think it was supposed to be the banker's car. I think
it was.
The
banker got killed. The banker and
hey,
what happened to Jose?
Remember when they first pulled up?
What happened to Jose?
They said maybe his name was Pedro. Okay.
What happened to Pedro?
He got scared and ran off or something. Remember?
He
was running with the rake.
Yeah, he got scared and ran off, and then they both got attacked by the feral people.
You're a feral people.
Yeah.
This movie has made me a feral person. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that. Yeah.
But they realize it's the car of the man who called them there originally, and they check in the boot. There's his body. Well, there's bloody clothes because they couldn't.
The what?
How are they gonna get a body in there?
The what?
The boot.
The trunk?
The trunk of the car.
The boot of the car.
A boot you wear on your foot, bro.
A boot? That's what Italy's shaped like.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the boot of the car? You mean the trunk?
A trunk as well is what you use to affix electrical wiring to brick walls.
At this point,
that's been your electrician fact of the day.
At this point, Hamlet starts.
Trunk is what an elephant got to go.
Hamlet starts growling at this point, and I remember thinking, shit, Dalton's right. He's got a taste for blood, and now he's gonna.
Yeah, he runs back in the house because the little boy starts running around at this point. Nobody's dead yet.
No. Well,
not a soul has died in this movie, and we're over halfway done.
Wait a moment.
Give it a minute.
I guess technically the banker.
Yeah.
Well,
the banker.
Oh, whatever. I didn't even remember the banker was in this movie. Should have been Roberto. Pedro. Should have been Pedro.
Yeah.
But Hamlet runs off chasing a shadow that they see moving through the house. There's like a Scooby-Doo-esque corridor thing where
corridor scene when they're like going in the doors,
which they've already done earlier during
the. It's not even esque for that. It's not. It's in a corridor. That's it. That's all to do with that idea.
And then eventually they find the kid. Hamlet gets caught because they hear like a thud and a whine, and then they find
the feral kid is eating Hamlet. They get to him. They try and.
Fred catches up to the kid.
Kid and then starts just beating.
Starts beating the shit out of this kid. He's strangling him. Daphne tries to pull him off. She's like, "No, he's a kid. Come on. You know, he didn't mean to eat your dog." And then the kid grabs an axe and like chops his head off,
decapitates him. And I remember because we all cheered.
Yeah, I was like, "Let's go!
Somebody's dead. This movie's wrapping up."
It was not in fact wrapping up.
Not only was the movie wrapping up, but Fred
was not wrapping up.
The most annoying character in the movie was dead.
Every character is the most annoying character in this movie.
After this, naturally, Shaggy, Velma, and Daphne hide because they're terrified.
Yeah.
And it was at that point that we reminded these are actual actors who, some of which went on to do some good things in Hollywood. Others, not so much.
Others just happened to be a cop and have access to a cop uniform.
I'll just say this. There's a reason that Fred was killed first.
Yeah. No offense to the man, but full offense.
But
well, he's not an. I don't think he.
No, he's not an actor.
Not an actor. He's like he's a production designer. Yeah.
I looked up his IMDb. And
he went on to do some really good things in the work of production.
He worked a lot behind the
Maybe,
scenes.
I don't know. I don't give a shit.
But they managed to get a call out to the policeman who arrives. He starts to make his way to the house, and they try and sneak out.
There was a really weird interaction on meant to be like what the point was, but it was like she called like maybe an operator or something and was like, get me 911, please. This is emergency. Like 911 isn't the number you dialed. It's like no shit.
Yeah.
What?
It's
that was very strange.
Really strange because nothing comes of it. They end up just getting the policeman there.
Just the cop shows up. He has coffee and donuts.
He has coffee and he
both of which he spills.
He does.
Well, no, he has the donuts.
Does
he carries the bag in? Yeah.
That's
maintain the donuts well.
And it never, after they cut from that scene, after the weird cut to black, it never matters again. But...
Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. Like halfway in this.
But yeah, so
as he's walking into the house with the donuts,
the remaining members of Mystery Incorporated try to escape. The feral people end up getting Shaggy, and we
don't know they're feral people yet.
Not yet, but
well, we kind of do. We don't know the extent of it, but we can tell that they're running around and growling like animals. People.
Right. Yeah, but they're presented at this point in the movie. They're presented as demons.
Hey.
No,
how did the feral people make a pentagram?
there's a lot of
that just hit me. How did the feral people know what a pentagram was and how to make it?
No. The pentagram stuff was made by kids because the police officer talks about how kids used to break into the house and they would do like Ouija boards and make pentagrams out.
Yeah, that was the parents. That's like edgy, like teenager stuff. I think.
Gotcha. The parents did still, as a fact, paint a pentagram on the floor and then kill themselves, even if they didn't.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
But
all right,
continue.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Keep going.
Or maybe they were sadists. Maybe there's a difference. I don't know.
Maybe it's the same thing.
I don't think so.
Maybe this film is all about your interpretation.
Maybe this film sucks.
Maybe this is a movie that no one should ever watch.
Maybe this is a money laundering scheme.
I don't think this movie laundered any money.
I don't think
no money went into or came out of this movie.
Shaggy.
I mean, we paid him at least a quarter from the ads we watched.
Yeah,
so
no, that's true. That's true.
Shaggy ends up getting stabbed. And left behind. The girls end up getting put in like a little cage that they get trapped in, and then Shaggy gets dragged off, and we never see him again.
He's just gone.
Yeah,
completely.
I think we maybe like hear him screaming in the background at one point, but that's
well, he gets stabbed. I think.
He gets stabbed a couple times.
They stab him multiple times.
He gets stabbed multiple times in the heart. I mean, dude's a goner.
Well, maybe in the sequel he was going to be.
Well, it was in his back, but right around heart area. It went through to his heart.
Maybe he was on. Maybe he wasn't smoking PCP, and he just tanked those hits. So
maybe
fine.
That's another movie that you do is Shaggy on PCP.
Oh yeah.
Shaggy smokes some PCP laced weed. And then goes on a
Shaggy accidentally smokes bath salts.
And he eats Scooby-Doo.
Oh, yeah.
That's the other slasher movie. Instead of Scooby being the slasher, it's Shaggy on PCP.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that's just
we should
my life.
Made this movie.
Honestly, I feel like any one of the four of us, I don't know Ewan like that, but any of the four of us could have made a better movie than this one.
You're implying that not knowing me through the information you do have of me, I could make a worse movie than the one we just said.
No, you can't. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think
like
anyone could make. I don't think you could.
I was more using that for emphasis. I don't even know you like that, and I know you could make a better version of this movie.
I don't think you could intend to make a worse version of this movie. Like if you went in with the intent of that, you would make something better, just inherently.
Because it would at least have something behind it. There was a goal. That's the thing this movie's missing. There's no goal. There's no goal of the end result of this movie.
It's not made by people who love Scooby-Doo and wanted to do like an homage to Scooby-Doo. Or like people who
It's made by some jerk. Just somewhere. He just wanted to do something.
Who wanted to make a slasher movie. He was like, okay, Scooby-Doo's kind of popular. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is kind of there was probably a remake that had just come out.
Those James Gunn Scooby-Doo movies just came out.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know when this movie. I don't know when this movie came out.
I do. I'd like you guys.
I want to say. I want to say
2012.
I'm gonna go like 2008.
I would say 2006. I would have said.
Dalton was bang on the money. 2012 was when this movie released.
It just feels like 2012, if I'm being honest. The movie looks like it was shot on the first iPhone, you know?
The movie ultimately ends with the policeman getting the girls out before getting taken by the feral people themselves. They have an argument and then decide, let's go back for him. He's probably alive. We could probably save him. They end up being right, but they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. And this movie winds up existing, but it shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
Once again, time for your every 20-minute reminder. We could have watched Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2. So
but no, next time or after Turtles 2, then it's Scooby 2.
Yeah.
Then Turtles 3, then Scooby 3.
We're just a Scooby-Doo and Ninja Turtles podcast from here on out.
Yeah.
There's one thing that is consistent in this movie, and it's that it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So the girls end up going back for the policeman who's being held captive like underneath the house, and it's at this point that they realize the feral people are the children of the Satanists who killed themselves in like the 1960s or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right.
How they realize that, I don't really know.
Well, no, we realized that because they straight up tell us. There was nothing. There was not, like it wasn't.
No, not how we realized that. How they realized that.
I think. They just,
who knows? I don't know. Maybe there was something in that up that
like
we missed. That would have.
I mean, I know Velma's smart.
Yeah, Velma's smart. Yeah. They were studying the mystery. Who cares? I don't. I was just glad because it meant the movie was close.
It meant the movie was ending. Yeah. And we checked the time. We checked the time two times within 5 minutes of this to see how much longer was left.
It turns out that they are the children of the Satanists who killed themselves.
Of the corn.
Have just been hiding in this house for the last 20 to 30 years.
Not hiding. I mean, they live there.
Chilling there, yeah. They've been making little plate masks. You know,
they haven't really been hiding. Nobody's hiding from anything. They're just they're feral children who live there.
Yeah, they're like wild animals.
Right,
like animals.
But
slaughtered them like
Daphne tries to reason with them. She's like, "Hey,
I
Mona.
honestly would have rather watched that movie to this."
She's like, "Hey, Mona, I know you guys are kids, but we can help you with this. We can help out. Just be nice." And then she
kills them.
She tells Velma to just fucking shoot.
She slaughtered them like animals.
Tapping them fucking
She tells Velma to just fucking shoot them.
No, because Daphne had the gun.
No, because
Daphne had the gun. Then Daphne got killed, and her entrails were all out. And then Velma took the gun, shot the boy or the man, the grown-up man, who then had sex with his sister to have the inbred feral boy.
Yeah, the inbred feral boy, to be clear, had been put a bullet in his shoulder by the cop who said, "Freeze, motherfucker."
The cops shot the kid.
The cop shot
just like real life.
Correct.
Just like,
is it over yet?
Nearly. We're nearly there.
Are we done?
Even recapping this movie.
This will be the shortest episode of the podcast, almost guaranteed.
There's one shot of Daphne where she's like chopped in half. And
the little boy ate the dog too. And killed Fred. That's the other. And this kid did a lot. This kid was the main.
He killed almost all of them.
Kid was his weight.
Except for Fred. No, he killed Fred. Who did he not kill? Shaggy. He only didn't kill Shaggy.
Yeah. Who killed Shaggy? Was it the man?
It was the man. The woman doesn't kill anyone.
Yeah, because man also killed.
She almost kills the cop, but then Daphne drowns her.
No, Velma drowns her.
Velma, whatever. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. None of this matters.
Technically,
not that deep, man.
Technically, they don't kill Daphne because while she's
the kid kills Daphne in the twist ending of the movie.
The man kills Daphne.
No.
I'm sorry. I meant Velma. I'm confused. Okay.
The man has Daphne's entrails out. Then Mercy kills Daphne.
Velma Mercy kills her and then gets the policeman out before being attacked by the woman, who she then drowns.
She then drowns in a puddle.
She drowns in a puddle of the grossest looking swamp water ever.
And then Velma and cop get in the car, and then the kid jumps out. The credits are rolling. We're done. It's over.
And the movie's over, and that's it. We're done. All right.
God.
Tune in next week when we watch whatever Ninja Turtles movie.
We're watching the Bay Ninja Turtles movies next week. We're gonna watch the first one, then the next week we'll watch the second one, and then we got a special thing planned for the third, and then a Tau 2. God, I hate this.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing we've watched on the podcast, and I will stand by that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the worst.
And we've watched a Tim 10 video on the podcast. We watched watched an entire Tim 10 video, and that was better than this.
Yeah. It was more interesting. Probably had better acting too. Definitely better production quality. They both felt like porn.
It was more like a movie than this was.
Yeah.
This was awful.
Yeah, no, this is.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. There's no other words to describe this than awful.
If I had watched this on my own all the way through, I would have blown my brains out.
Yeah. If I had watched this on my own, I simply would not have finished it.
Yeah.
You know, like
I'm glad,
this is the kind of thing.
I'm glad in watching these movies we do it together now. And
right, yeah.
Watch it alone.
Yeah, I would have not.
For those unfamiliar, the original format of this podcast was we would all go off and watch these movies, and then the day after we would just talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
And if that was the case, I legitimately wouldn't have watched this movie.
No, I also would not have ever watched this movie. No, I will say with the original format of the podcast, I don't think we would have watched something different because the first person who watched it would have said, "I couldn't get through this. What are we doing instead?"
Let's watch Scooby Doo and Crypto 2 instead.
Man, we should have done Scooby Doo and Crypto 2.
Next time, baby. Next time. It's cool. We got to build to it. All right, we're gonna watch the Scooby Doo prequel movies, then this, and then we can watch the sequel to this movie.
Yeah, there's no sequel to this movie.
Doesn't have a sequel. Of course it does.
This movie barely exists.
This movie exists through sheer spite and
AM Radio, that was probably made for less of a budget than this movie, is a better movie than this movie.
AM Radio at least has that cracked shot of the gun and the plate.
AM Radio has Omar Gooding in it.
This movie made me love AM Radio.
For those wondering, AM Radio is one of the previous worst movies we've seen on the podcast.
AM Radio, you can watch the episode for AM Radio right here
On YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, wherever your streaming pleasures may take you.
Just cut the whatever one Dan said for whatever thing you uploaded to.
I can't.
Yeah, and be sure to hit that bell.
Shut up.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends.
Share this to your friends and family.
Comment
one of our other videos
if you got
with
to
your
this
friends.
point.
Share Curse of the Were-Rabbit. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
That was.
I miss Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Yeah.
And I didn't love Curse of the Were-Rabbit. I would watch anything.
I would watch it 20 times right now just to get the taste.
If my mind could literally crack in half and ooze out all of my essence onto this table, I would rather that happen than watch this movie again.
Yeah.
I would have to be Clockwork Orange to sit through this movie.
Like this is it's not like oh haha, because here's what happens. I think nobody's watching this podcast, but when I watch stuff like this and I watch people watch movies like this, I get this oh ha ha ha, they're funny. That means this movie's funny. I want to watch this movie. Don't you dare. Don't do it.
You know,
it's not worth it. It's not good. You will get no enjoyment. I love watching these bad movies. I do. This is not one of them.
We live for watching bad movies. And we were miserable watching this. This sucked.
I just want it on the record. I'm not a normal semi-pro podcast member. I was extended the offer to come here today, and I was quite.
No, you weren't.
The offer yourself. You
did that to yourself. We would not have done this to you. We knew what this was going to be going in. I also want to mention that we knew what we were getting when we decided we were going to watch this movie, and we did it anyway. We did this to ourselves.
15 minutes in, yeah.
We did the whole 15 minutes in thing. We had an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We did it so you don't have to
not watch this movie. Yeah. We're heroes, really. We're martyrs. We're like,
that's
blasphemous. I can stop myself.
Nah, you could go with Steven. We're like Steven.
I'm
not as big into Bible lore. I don't get that one.
So Stephen was one of the disciples of Jesus. He was the first one ever executed outside of Jesus after the life of Jesus. Okay. He was stoned in the street by the Apostle Paul, who later would go on to be the man who writes most of the New Testament of the Bible after his conversion. So
I would rather be Stephen than watch this movie.
Yeah.
I would rather be fucking Judas.
Doesn't Judas end off quite well? He gets the.
Well, no, he dies, doesn't he?
He kills himself. He slices open his gut.
And also ends up in hell, probably, because he killed the Lord.
I would rather do that than watch this movie again.
Yeah.
Judas Iscariot.
Let's steer clear of the blasphemy for the rest of the episode, if we can. No, I mean, I don't have any final thoughts because I've voiced them the entire time. This movie's horrible. Don't watch it.
Deserving of final thoughts.
It's not worth it.
I just want to say, I did not directly watch this movie. Don streamed it for all of us. And,
right.
Yeah. And I
thanks,
still
Tubi.
feel.
Thanks again.
Thanks again, Tubi. Yeah. And I still feel bad for in any way supporting the people who made this.
Right. Same.
Because
I feel Tubi. Look, Tubi, if you're listening, you're better than this. Tubi, take this down. Look, you're better than this.
Tubi, I know you will put literally anything on there and Fortnite gameplay. Like I've watched people just play Fortnite and Minecraft on Tubi. But come on, even that's more entertaining.
You're better than this.
Get it together.
Everybody, look at the camera. Tubi, you're better than this.
But once
You're
again,
better than this, Tubi.
Made possible by Tubi. Shout out Tubi.
This episode made possible by Tubi.
For free. Watch Tubi. Get Tubi on anything
Tubi.
you want. Your
Hey,
PlayStation, your Xbox.
Call me.
You want it on
Hey,
your
Tubi.
computer. You want it on your phone. You
Call
want it
me.
on your Samsung Galaxy, your
Tubi.
iPhone, your flip
Hey,
phone.
Tubi.
You can get it on
Call
whatever
me.
you want. Shout
Call
out
me.
Tubi.
Call
I
me,
love
Tubi.
Tubi. I love
Call
you,
me.
Tubi.
Look,
Love
Tubi,
you.
I know you got Super Bowl ads, so you got that Super Bowl ad money. Doesn't matter. Call us.
Hey,
Call
Tubi,
us.
I just wanted to say, please unblock me.
I can change. Give me another chance.
Give me another chance, Tubi.
I know I
All right, that's it. We're wrapping this up. I'm done with this. I'm done with this movie. It sucked. I hated it. I never want to.
The only thing I'm not done with is Tubi, because I'll never be done with Tubi.
Sure, absolutely, without a
This
doubt.
episode made possible by Tubi.
I never want to think about, watch, have anything to do with this movie ever again. I hated every second of it. I really wish that we hadn't watched it, if I'm being completely honest with you. But we did, and it's over, and I am so glad that we had this time to spend here together. Thanks everyone for listening. We will see you next time on Semi Pro when we watch the first Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.